where that point P lies at a distance r from the wire enclosed by the loop that is ABCD. B is the magnetic field, I is the current, L is the length of that. Hello dear students, I am Maitri, Faculty of Physics, Vidyashram, Temple of Excellence, Mysuru. We will continue our discussion on chapter 4, that is moving charges and magnetism. In this session, we will learn Ampere's circuital law and right hand thumb rule to find out the direction of the magnetic field. So first, let us know what is a right hand thumb rule. For what reason we use this right hand thumb rule? Right hand thumb rule gives the direction of the magnetic field. According to right hand thumb rule, so the curved fingers represents the direction of the current in the coil. So this is the coil which is carrying the current. You know that the current carrying coil produces magnetic field. In this, we have to find the direction of the magnetic field. To find it, use the right hand thumb rule. The direction of current is given by the curved fingers. So curl the palm according to the direction of current. Then the thumb represents the direction of magnetic field around the current carrying coil, and the thumb always points towards the north direction, north pole. So this is a north pole of the magnetic field and the opposite one is south pole. This way you have to use the right hand thumb rule to find out the direction of magnetic field. Now let us know what is Ampere's circuital law. The statement of Ampere's circuital law is that the line integral of magnetic field is denoted by the letter B, around any closed path. So around a closed path, if you are finding the magnetic field in free space, the medium here it is free space, is equal to, the magnetic field around a closed path is equal to mu naught times the current enclosed by that path. How much the current enclosed by that path decides the magnetic field strength. So this is the Ampere's circuital law statement in mathematical form, where B represents the magnetic field and DL represents the element, DL, line element of the closed path, means the small portion of the closed path, which is equal to mu naught times, mu naught is nothing but the permeability of free space. And you know what is permeability? Permeability is the ability of the medium to allow the magnetic field lines into the total current enclosed by that closed path. So this is the Ampere's circuital law. Now let us know the application of Ampere's circuital law. The first application is that to find the magnetic field around a straight wire carrying current. So consider a straight wire as in this picture. This is a straight wire. XY is a straight wire. Let us consider it is of infinite length, and in this straight wire the current I is flowing. As it is a current carrying conductor, around that the magnetic field is, and the pattern of magnetic field is circular. So this you can find using the right hand thumb rule, where you have to use the thumb in the direction of current, and the curved fingers represent the direction of magnetic field, So here the magnetic field is in circular path. Yes. And the direction at point P, let us find out the magnetic field strength due to this current carrying wire, where that point P lies at a distance r from the wire. And at point P, the direction of magnetic field is given by drawing the tangent to that point. The tangent drawn to that point gives the direction of the magnetic field. And to find the magnetic field strength, we have to apply the Ampere's circuital law. So, Ampere's circuital law is applied by considering an imaginary closed surface. Imaginary closed surface, keeping that point like Gauss law, where you consider the Gaussian surface. Same way here, you have to consider an Amperian loop. Amperian loop. Amperian loop is an imaginary closed path where you have to consider the point. Keeping that point, you have to consider the imaginary closed path which must enclose the current. So here this closed path is around the wire where we have used to apply the Ampere's circuital law. In this closed path, let me consider a small portion of this closed path whose length I consider it as dl. The length is considered as dl. And the dl in this chapter already I have said that it is a vector quantity. We have discussed that it is a vector quantity whose direction is in the direction of current. Therefore, here the magnetic field and the dl are in same direction. When they are in same direction, the angle between them is 0 degree. Now let us apply the Ampere's circuital law. According to Ampere's circuital law, the mathematical form of the law is B dot dl, where B is magnetic field and dl is the line element, where both are vector quantity which is equal to mu naught times the current enclosed by that closed path. Here that closed path is Amperian loop. Now, these two vectors are the dot product of two vectors. So, when I consider the dot product, the angle is cos theta between the two vectors. So, the magnitude of this dot product of two vectors is given by B dl cos theta, which is equal to mu naught times the current enclosed by that path. And this is the integration symbol as in the statement of the Ampere's circuital law, that is the line integral. The statement starts as line integral. So here this integration is nothing but line integral, where we have to consider around a closed path to find the magnetic field. So here we have the line integral around a closed path. Next, the angle between the magnetic field and the dl is, you know that it is 0 degree. So cos 0 degree, which is equal to mu naught I. Next, what is the value of cos 0 degree? Cos 0 degree is equal to 1. Therefore, we have the line integral of B dl is equal to mu naught I, where the strength of the magnetic field is same around that closed path, because wherever you consider the point, all that point lies at a distance from the wire at same distance. Therefore, B is constant and you have to integrate the small part of this closed path, means adding all the small part which we have divided this closed path into a small part. By adding all the small part, you get the circumference of the circle. Circumference of that closed path. So the circumference of the circle is 2 pi r, which is equal to mu naught I. Therefore, the magnetic field at a distance r from the current carrying wire is given by B is equal to mu naught I by 2 pi r, because the integration of dl is equal to 2 pi r. Yes, this is the magnetic field strength at a distance r from the current carrying wire, which is equal to mu naught I by 2 pi r, where r is the distance of the point where we have finding the magnetic field. Yes. Next, let us know what is solenoid. Solenoid and toroid are two pieces of equipment which generates magnetic field. This is the picture of solenoid. You can observe here we have a material on which we have number of turns of this coil, number of turns of the coil. Therefore, a solenoid is a cylindrical coil consisting of large number of turns which are closely wound insulated wire very close to each other. The turns of each the coil is very close to each other. This is known as solenoid. And long solenoid means solenoid length is large compared to its radius. When I compare with the radius, the length is very much large than the radius, then the solenoid is known as long solenoid. Now let us find out the direction of the magnetic field around this current carrying solenoid using right and thumb rule. Yes, right and thumb rule. So according to right and thumb rule, you have to curl the fingers in the direction of magnetic field. So this is the coil which is carrying the current. So in which direction I have to keep the curl finger? Okay, then the magnetic field direction is given by the thumb. So the thumb is pointing towards the right side. Therefore, this is the north pole of the magnetic field and this is south pole of the magnetic field. And observe this direction of the current. It is flowing and observe the direction of the current flow. The direction of current flow here at the top, it is out of the wire. Therefore, at the top you represent it by the dot and below here it is into. The current is flowing into means the back portion of this coil we are unable to show it. So here this is the current flow which is into this board. Again at the top it comes out of the board and below it goes into the board. This is the direction of the current. So in that direction you are going to keep your curl finger. So out and into, and the thumb represents the direction of magnetic field. Therefore, this is north pole and this is south pole around the current carrying solenoid. Now let us find out the strength of this magnetic field around the solenoid. The magnetic field lines around the current carrying solenoid is this. So observe here. At the top, the current, this dot represents the current which is coming out of the coil and down below. So here is the into means where the current is flowing into the coil, next turn of the coil. From here it comes out and goes into the coil. The next turn of the coil comes out and into the next turn of the coil. Like this, the current flows around this, the direction of magnetic field. The magnetic field direction is as shown in this picture. Now let us find out the magnetic field due to current carrying solenoid. This is the picture of the solenoid carrying current. And the dot here represents the current coming out of the wire and the cross represents the current going into the next turn of the solenoid. This box represents the number of turns in the solenoid. So in each turn, the current comes out and enters into to go into the next turn of the solenoid. And this current carrying solenoid produces magnetic field, and the direction of magnetic field is given by right hand thumb rule as in this picture. Yes, now the right hand thumb rule. In this right hand thumb rule, the curved fingers represents the direction of current. So above means in one turn above, it is coming out of the plane of paper. The current is coming out of the plane of paper, and below it goes into the plane of paper. From that it comes out of the plane of paper from the second turn of the solenoid. Same way the current flows in the solenoid. Due to this current, the direction of magnetic field is represented by the thumb, where thumb represents the north pole. So this is the north pole of the magnet produced by the current carrying solenoid, whose direction is inside. Inside it is from south to north, and outside the direction of magnetic field is from north to south. And inside the solenoid, the magnetic field lines you can observe in the previous picture. Yes, observe this. So here the number of field lines are more and they are crowded, and they are almost parallel to each other. Therefore, the magnetic field inside is uniform. Uniform magnetic field inside the solenoid. And as we go away from the solenoid, the number of magnetic field lines goes on decreasing, means the magnetic field lines move away from each other. And outside the solenoid, magnetic field, as they move away from each other and have less number of magnetic field lines in a given area, therefore outside the magnetic field is almost zero. We consider almost it is equal to zero, as we have less number of magnetic field lines as we go away from the solenoid. So keeping this, let us derive the expression for the magnetic field inside the solenoid, as inside the magnetic field strength is uniform. And this magnetic field strength, as it is uniform, you can consider point anywhere inside because the magnetic field strength is uniform. To find the strength of the magnetic field, we use the Ampere circuital law. Before applying the Ampere circuital law, you have to imagine Amperian loop, which is an imaginary closed loop which is suitable for this solenoid to find the magnetic field strength inside the solenoid. Okay, now in this, the direction of dl, which is a line element of this closed loop, is in the direction of current. Let us find out in what direction the current is. So above the current is coming out and below it is going into the plane of paper. So in this way the current is flowing in the solenoid. Therefore observe here, the current is in anti-clockwise direction. So current in anti-clockwise direction. In the same direction, the DL must be. Therefore, the direction of DL is in anti-clockwise direction. After this, you have to find the angle between the DL and B to apply the Ampere circuital law. So, we consider this closed path as side by side, and we will find out the angle between the B and DL for each side. For example, here I consider AB first, AB. So, in this, the direction of DL is in the direction that is from A to B, and the direction of magnetic field is in the same direction. As they are in same direction, angle between them is 0 degree. Next, side BC. of the closed path where the direction of dl is from B to C, but the direction of magnetic field is perpendicular to the dl, that is the angle between B and dl is 90 degree. And the side CD which lies outside the solenoid, as it is outside the solenoid, you know, almost we consider the magnetic field as a 0. So approximately it is equal to 0. Therefore, due to that CD, there is no magnetic field. The last side is DA, in which the direction of DL is downwards, that is from D to A, and the magnetic field is perpendicular to this. So the angle between DL and B is 90 degree. So keeping this angles, let us apply the Ampere's circuital law. Ampere's circuital law, according to Ampere's circuital law, the line integral law of magnetic field around a closed path. The closed path here it is ABCD, and this ABCD is considered as DL. So DL is also a vector quantity. Between these two vectors, the product is dot product, which is equal to mu naught times the net current enclosed by the loop, that is ABCD. So the net current means total current enclosed by the closed path, here it is ABCD. The next step is B dot dl around the closed path ABCD is equal to mu naught. Let us find out the total current enclosed by that closed path. Yes. Let us find out the total number of turns. Then you will come to know what is the total current enclosed by that closed path. Okay. So total number of turns, let us consider it as N. Total number of turns around this closed path is N. And in that total number of turns, the length of the coil is capital L. The total length in total number of turns. For small length L, like for 1 centimeter or per unit length, let us consider the total number of turns as N. For unit length, the number of turns as N. So remember, capital N represents the total number of turns for the total length L. For per unit length, the number of turns let us consider in small n. Now, what is the total number of turns? Just cross multiply it and find out n. N is equal to NL by L, where N by L is nothing but number of turns per unit length. So, total number of turns, N is equal to NL, where N is number of turns per unit length. Now, in the total number of turns, the total current enclosed, let us consider it as I. So, what is the total current enclosed by the loop? The loop number of turns is NL, where small n represents the number of turns per unit length, and in that the current enclosed is I. So, the total current is equal to NLI, where capital L is the total length. Now, let us divide this closed path ABCD as AB, BC and CD, DA, where AB, BC, CD, DA are the side of that closed path, which is equal to this dot product magnitude is given by BDL cos theta, and same for all the sides, where between these two, For the AB, for the side AB, you know that DL and B were in same direction. Therefore, theta is 0 degree. And for the BC, DL and B were at 90 degree. So, theta is equal to 90 degree. And CD lies outside the solenoid where the magnetic field is 0 because the magnetic field lines are away from each other. They are at far distance from each other. Next, the DL and the B are at 90 degree, and the DL direction, you know, it is in the direction of current where the current is in anti-clockwise. So, same direction DL is also. So, now keeping this angle, let us find out all this DB and B dot DL. So, for the AB, angle is 0 degree. So, cos 0 is 1. Cos 0 is 1. For B dot DL, side BC, theta is 90 degree. Cos 90? Cos 90 degree is equal to 0. Therefore, this is 0. And CD you already know which is 0. DA is also 90 degree. Therefore, this is also 0. Now, we have the magnetic field only due to AB, where a cos 0 degree value is 1. Therefore, BDL integration of AB. Now, integration of or the line integral of magnetic field around a closed path. The closed path is ABCD dot DL is equal to BL because the integration of DL of side AB gives the total length L. Next, you have the LHS as BL and the RHS as mu naught NLI, where L gets cancelled. Therefore, the magnetic field strength inside the solenoid is mu naught Ni, where N is the number of turns per unit length. This is the magnitude of magnetic field inside the solenoid and it is uniform. Yes. Next, let us find out the force between two parallel conductors carrying current. Very important question which is for 5 mark. We have to find the force between two parallel conductors carrying current. Let us consider the conductors as A and B. In the conductor A, let us name the current as IA and in the conductor B, IB. And they are at some distance D. Now, the magnetic field and the force acting on this parallel conductors, we have to find it. From this, we will derive the expression for the force between the two parallel conductors. Consider two parallel conductors carrying current I. Let us name the conductors as AB. Therefore, the current in conductor A is IA and in B is IB. They are at a distance D. Now, there is magnetic field around these two wires as they are carrying current. Let us find out the direction of the magnetic field around this current carrying wire using right hand thumb rule. So, first I will find out the direction of the magnetic field around the second conductor, that is B. So, from this point, the magnetic field out of the plane of paper, and at this side, the magnetic field is into the plane of paper because thumb you have to keep in the direction of current and the curved finger represents the direction of the magnetic field around the current carrying straight wire. So, this is the magnetic field of second wire, that is B. This magnetic field is applied to this wire A. Means in that magnetic field, the magnetic field of B, in that magnetic field, the first wire, which is A, is in that magnetic field. Because of that, and it is also producing the magnetic field, there is force on the wire A. In what direction the force is? To find the force, we have to use the Fleming's left-hand rule. Left-hand rule, where the thumb represents the force direction and the middle finger represents the direction of the magnetic field, and the force. To find the direction of the force, we have to use the Fleming's left-hand rule, where thumb represents the direction of the force, forefinger represents the direction of magnetic field, and the middle finger represents the direction of the current. So in that way, we will place our fingers. First, we know the direction of current. So current is above, and the magnetic field due to wire B is interacting with this magnetic field. Therefore, this magnetic field direction is outward. You know that dot represents that it is out, and the force on the wire A is towards the wire B. This is the force acting on the wire A due to the magnetic field of B. Yes. Next, let us consider the magnetic field. Next, let us consider the magnetic field of wire A, which is interacting with the magnetic field of wire B. Due to that, there is force on the wire B, and we will find out the direction of that force. Okay, first let us find out the magnetic field around wire A. So here the thumb in the direction of current and the curled fingers represent the direction of the magnetic field. At this point, it is out of the plane of paper, and between the wires, the magnetic field is into the plane of paper. So this magnetic field of wire A is applying the force, or due to that there is force on the wire B. To find the direction of force acting on the wire B, we have to use Fleming's left-hand rule, where thumb represents the direction of force, forefinger represents the direction of magnetic field, and the middle finger represents the direction of current. So in that direction, current, middle finger, magnetic field is out, magnetic field is into the plane of paper, and the thumb gives the direction of the force acting on this wire B. Yes, wire B. Why the force is on wire B? Due to the magnetic field of wire A. And why on A? Because of B. Yes. Now, observe this direction of force. Both direction are towards each other, means when the current flowing in this conductor same direction, then the nature of force, see, observe they are towards each other, means they are pulling each other, nothing but there is an attractive force between the two wires. So when the current is in same direction, the nature of force is attractive. If the current is in opposite direction, then the nature of force is repulsive. Which is an one mark question. You have to remember this. Same direction current, force is attractive. When the direction of current is opposite, yes, opposite, or in this way, opposite, then the force is repulsive. Now this force expression I need to find out between the two parallel conductors carrying current. Again consider two parallel conductors carrying current IA, IB. The conductors are A and B at a distance D. Okay, now force on A due to B. Force on A due to B. What is the expression for the force on a conductor carrying current? This we have discussed in session 1. That is, force is equal to BIL sine theta. B is the magnetic field, I is the current, L is the length of that conductor carrying current. The magnetic field of B is creating the force and the current I is in the wire A. Wire A, and L is the length of the conductor. As force is a vector quantity, therefore in the magnitude we have to consider sine theta. So this B in the expression, always it is an external magnetic field. Here the external magnetic field is the magnetic field of wire B. Same way, the force on B due to A is force on B due to A is BIL sine theta. Force on B due to external magnetic field, that is created by A. So the magnetic field of A and the current in the same wire, only then there is force on B. So current in the wire B, L sine theta is the force on B due to A. Now in this two expression, we have to find the magnetic field around the B and magnetic field around A. You know the magnetic field around B and A by the expression that we have derived. Around the straight wire, the magnetic field is given by mu naught I by 2 pi R. One of the first application of Ampere's circuital law. But here R is the D. R is the D. Okay. Next, same way, B is equal to mu naught I by 2 pi D. And the current in the same wire which is creating the magnetic field. So this current B is producing the magnetic field B. Now this we will substitute in this two expression. By substituting, we have force on A due to B is equal to, let me write first the expression, BIL sine theta, where B is given by mu naught IB by 2 pi D. Magnetic field due to the current in the wire B, IAL sine theta. BA is the force on B due to A, which is BAIBL sine theta, where BA is given by mu naught IA by 2 pi D, because this magnetic field is created by the current in the wire A. Then IBL sine theta. Now observe here, FAB and FBA are equal in magnitude, but according to the Fleming's left hand rule, and we have found the direction of force. The direction of force or the nature of force is attractive, means the forces are in opposite direction. Therefore, Newton's third law holds good here. And as they are equal in magnitude, you can consider any one equation as the force equation. FAB is equal to mu naught Ia Ib L sin theta by 2 pi d, where mu naught is permeability in free space, Ia is the current in the conductor A, Ib is the current in the conductor B, L is the length, sin theta is the angle between the magnetic field and the L, divided by 2 pi d, d is the distance between the two parallel conductors. So this is the force between the two parallel conductor, which is equal in magnitude, opposite in direction. Next, using this we have to define the unit of current, that is ampere. Definition of 1 ampere. To define it, we have to use the expression of force acting on the two parallel conductors. You know the expression as you have derived now. F is equal to mu naught Ia Ib L by 2 pi d, where this L I consider to the denominator of LHS. Then F represents the force per unit length. F represents the force per unit length. And in this equation, let us consider the Ia and Ib value as 1 ampere and the distance between the two parallel conductors as 1 meter. So, distance between the two parallel conductors is 1 meter. The current flowing in the conductor is 1 ampere. Then, the force per unit length. Force per unit length is equal to 2 into 10 power minus 7 Newton per meter. Newton is the force per unit length. Now, keeping these points in the mind, let us define 1 ampere. 1 ampere is defined as steady current which, when flowing in, observe the picture, flowing in two infinitely long straight parallel conductors of negligible cross section, and they are separated by a distance of 1 meter. 1 meter. And where they are placed? They are placed in vacuum because here the permeability, observe the permeability in free space we have represented. Therefore, in the definition, we have to represent the medium that is vacuum or free space, causes a force of, what is the force value? Force value is 2 into 10 power minus 7 Newton per meter length of each conductor. This is the definition of 1 ampere using the force of acting on two parallel conductors. And you know the nature of force between the two parallel conductors when the current in same direction, nature of force is attractive. When the current is in opposite direction, then the force between the two parallel conductors is repulsive. So, in this session, you have learned Ampere's circuital law and its application. In the next session, let us learn moving coil galvanometer. In this session, you have learnt all about the Ampere's circuital law and its application. In the next session, let us know what is moving coil galvanometer and how to convert it as ammeter and voltmeter. Thank you.